Alright, things are a little urgent. Welcome to the new episode. In this series, I aim to see what the fewest number of packs are that are required to open in order to get to Master 1 in Master Duel. That was a little weird way of saying it, but you get the idea. I'm a little frantic. I have 1 hour to get my value out of this duel pass. And of course, I'm like right at the limit in terms of how many gems I can hold. And I've got 9 missions to redeem. So I'm gonna buy a couple things from the shop, try and empty some of this reserve, and then we're gonna head straight into some duels. Let's see. I think at this point, my best bet is to just get every single structure, just all of them. Oh, wow, this is eating up my gems very quickly. No, since I don't count structures as opening packs, I think having all of them available to me all at once is probably the best bet. Trying to waste as little time as possible, but it's hard. It's rough out there. Oh, we get the platinum border for our icon. I don't even have enough to get the last of the remaining structure, which I guess isn't that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. Picked up a bunch of banger cards, obviously. This card is probably one of the strongest cards that these structures have to offer. This card's kind of crazy. This plus Magician Souls being in a structure deck like this is kind of wild. Yeah, none of this is worth my time. Does this come with... It does. It comes with Blue Boy. Oh. So this is like a self-contained engine. That's kind of cool. This plus the Pendulum structure deck is pretty strong early game. Especially with how generous they are with the gems. Like, that's pretty easy to get your hands on pretty early on. That's definitely something to keep in mind if we decide to do another run. But I'm going to start climbing Platinum and see how the games go. I will report back once I have something to offer. Alright, I am 1 win away from ranking up into Plat 4. I feel like every time I start recording one of these games, I, I it becomes the game where I just completely get dumpstered. But we're going to try recording it because I want to get the rank up game on camera. I think I've done 3 games up to this point, and every single one of them has been insane. I've opened well, I've played well, but this is a hand of all time. If this gets ashed, I lose the game. Maxi. Well, here's the thing about that. Yep. So, get wrecked, buddy. What do I even add here? Do I add Gazelle? What did I pitch? I pitched an Ash. The greedy play. Well, the greedy play would be to go for like Lady Debug. If I want to end on interaction, I have to go for Gazelle. Gazelle guarantees me interaction, so I'm going to do that. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second. So let's do Gazelle. We're going to send the Rage. And then I have to do it this way. I don't like it, but this is how I kind of have to play the game. We're gonna will back the gazelle. Yeah, I'm only gonna be able to end on rage. I can't end on. Oh my gosh, go away. I can't end on any other meaningful interaction. Unfortunately, that's just sort of the life I live right now. I'm literally on just like rage and a prayer, which hopefully is enough. But we'll have to see if this person's playing something competent. They chose to go second, so I'm a little worried about that. I'm also worried about the fact that this rage does nothing if they like kaiju me. Like if they kaiju me, this rage is dead. The upside is that if they don't have anything to contest the will or the gazelle engrave, then I can threaten a pretty crazy crackback. Oh, this is Sky Striker. Oh, interesting. Discard a card. Send cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, then draw a card and show it. That's fine. Let's see. And if it was slash draw, send it to the grave, and if you do, destroy as many cards. This card you drew is not. Shuffle cards in your graveyard into the deck. Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. What on earth are you playing, dog? Like striker slash draw? Are you just playing it as like a spell? Oh my gosh, that was very anticlimactic. But we take those, and those still get us into Plat 4. I'm feeling pretty good. We're in Plat. We've made it into Plat 4. I think now is maybe the time to mention something that has sort of been weighing on me. I posted episode 2 on Reddit because I'm recording all of this pretty far in advance. I posted episode 2 on Reddit and I got some very mean comments from people. I got people saying that, oh, well, you can't D-rank in the tiers lower than Plat, so what you're doing is not impressive, doesn't add any value, whatever. I got a little defensive. But I'm going to say this. Now that we're in Plat, hopefully what I'm doing has some value. I like to think it had value before and those people were just mean. Because I think the early game of sort of deciding where your resources get used, building your deck, and like there were some challenges. Like I ran into some real decks. It wasn't like I was just, cruising through a bunch of structure deck Andes. Yeah, I mean, the number of games I lost didn't matter, but I only lost a handful of games. It's not like I'm some bot with a 50% win rate, but, maybe I'm giving them more space in my brain than they deserve. Let's just continue the grind. All right, that last game was a little tilting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I played against Sprite, and it really felt like I had absolutely no control over that game. I really felt like though if I had more time, if I didn't like creep up on the timer, I might have been able to do more. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. So one thing I've been thinking about is for our going first, I would really like to have access to a rank 4. So I think one thing I want to look at, I know I'm running out of time. You don't have to tell me in the comments. But I really want to see what 4s I have access to. Because I'm thinking about maybe seeing if there's a good one that's worth crafting that would maybe sort of up our game against certain decks. The one that I would really like to craft is Dweller, but he's a UR. I'm 2 UR away from being able to craft a UR. So maybe that's closer than I think it is. The other one I was possibly thinking of, Baguska, and that's a super. So the other thing I was possibly thinking about that might help is microcoder, but I imagine, yeah, it's an SR. Because I really wanted to be able to search something that offered more utility. So Cynet Conflict is the counter trap. It's a rare. I don't even have enough rare crafting points to craft this thing. I'd have to dismantle like a chalice or something. That's a little annoying. Do I have access to Dark Ruler no more? I feel like Dark Ruler no more is like at least a super. No, it's an ultra. Yeah, I thought so. I feel like if it were anything other than an ultra, it would have been mentioned in one of the guides that I've been looking at. I've crafted some cards, and I feel like some of them just haven't seen any use. I'm wondering if I can maybe justify dismantling a couple things. No. Well, I could maybe I could maybe dismantle the I could maybe dismantle these two. That would get me my Baguska. I'm not dismantling any of the URs. The only 2 URs I have, well, I have more than that, but the only two like flex URs, well, really the only flex UR I have is Harpies. I keep rethinking the way I'm describing this, but the only UR that possibly could come out of the deck at any given point is Harpies. The Evenly has not come up once, and the Lancia hasn't come up either. I feel like there's a world where Evenly is insane, but I think having stuff in the extra deck is just way more important. So I think against conventional wisdom, I think we're gonna craft a Baguska Royal. Oh, never lucky. So what's getting cut? I literally never make Heat Soul. I'm never in a position where making Heat Soul makes sense. I'm cutting him. Oh, we opened a pack. Just kidding. We're not going into that. All right, we're in version 10 of the deck. Oh, I got to take the Evenly out. I think I'm going to throw a third Book of Moon in. Well, Econ was kind of crazy last game, but I feel like Book did the exact same thing and didn't cost me a tribute on field. So I think Book is just the better card. At least in the format that I find myself. Once we get a UR, I think the first thing I'm doing is crafting the Dweller, which I have like 36 minutes left on this. How many more do I have? So I'm 3 more away from getting more UR material. I would love to get my hands on the mate, but I don't think that's going to be able to happen in the next 36 minutes. I really should just go to bed. It's like 11:30 almost, but grind never stops, baby. I'm going to check back in when I have something interesting to say. I am gonna scream. Look at this. Look at this garbage that I lost to. I'm so tilted right now. I have 20 minutes left on this dual pass. And I'm about to just quit for the night because I'm so mad. Let's relive my trauma. I believe he wins the die roll, and my hand is looking scrumptious. Like let me show you this hand that I was working with. Like this hand is really good. Would have preferred to go first, but I always would prefer to go first. And it's at this point I know what I'm playing against. We're just gonna fast forward because he does literally nothing. He goes set it up, set two, pass. Like that's terrible. I lead with the twin twisters just so that I don't have to be concerned with what the back row is. Back row was just double cyclone, so it didn't matter. Mining, and once again, I go through the motions. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs, and he has like no interaction. Listen, I am playing firing on all cylinders, and it's at this point I could have just gone update jammer and gone access code. I would love to know what is in his hand right now. There's no way of looking at it. But I decided at this point that access update access code is no longer in the cards, and this was supposed to be a Helio. I don't know why it wasn't a Helio. And of course, the fact that I bounced it means that he has access to it again. So I have to book it. Otherwise, he's just going to pop something. And then he reborns the blue eyes. And little did I know, Jet triggers off of either player's things being destroyed. Thankfully, I can protect the Falco, which gives me game going into the next turn. But he ranks up into this garbage, pops my field spell, which ends up not mattering. I have the Falco to reset it. Go into Bale Links. Activate the field spell for no reason. Go into Jack Jaguar. I'm making Splash Mage because I'm thinking I can Reborn, go into Update Jammer, but it's at this point I'm like sub 30 seconds. So I am clicking buttons as fast as a man can click buttons. And of course I pop this thing, not realizing that the jet triggers from grave as well. I try pop this, it doesn't do anything. Does this just have an effect? Other cards you control cannot be destroyed. And I get Dougie'd on. Like, that was the most one game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I lost. And maybe he had the jet in hand the whole time and it didn't matter. But I didn't have time to read this garbage. Like, I know now that the jet protects other things. I thought the jet protected itself. That's why I went for the face down. I'm so tilted right now. I'm fuming. I'm so mad. And I want to get value out of this dual pass, but I just need to sleep. Okay, I'm going to have more time to record tomorrow. We're going to rest on it. The dual pass is going to reset. I'm going to miss out on a bunch of materials, but honestly, it does not matter. It's not going to, make or break the series whether I get the extra 38 rewards out of this dual pass. Most of them are not worth my time anyway. Like, the crafting points are the most important part. I mean, there is a lot of UR stuff, but whatever. You know what? Honestly, I'm feeling better now that I've complained to you all. I'm gonna try to get this 6 UR points so that I can get the Dweller. If we can get to that 6 points to get the Dweller, I'll feel much better about tonight. I should have just gone to bed. Oh my gosh. The freaking Duel Pass expired midway through my game against Sky Striker. Where of course, I go to update access code him and I forget that Kaina exists. And I get double linkaged for game and I'm not well. I'm not doing okay. I'm gonna go lay down. S- See you tomorrow. Oh. All right, I'm back. Looks like we got some stuff and things. New festival. I've looked at these. The rewards for these is just not worth doing. After the heinous showing last time, you might be able to tell from the number of days left on this that it is not, in fact, the next day like I said it would be. It's a couple days later, and that's not necessarily because I was mad, although don't get me wrong, I was mad. It has more to do with the fact that I didn't have time to record during the day at all because I had just too much going on. I'm going to take a look at the new accessories. I kind of got them spoiled on Twitter. I like this. We're going to get that. I don't know if I'll use it in videos because it seems like it has a lot of particles and stuff and moving parts, so don't know about that, but I definitely want it, just in case I have a chance to use it. So, Dual Pass reset, which is sort of a blessing and a curse. I would have liked to have gotten full value out of the previous one, but this does mean that some of the rewards that we got before we can start doubling up on now. I would like very much to get my hands on the cross sheet mate, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to grind some duels, see if we can climb up Plat. I'm going to see if I can get as far as I can today. I may record a couple games. We'll see. I'll report back when there's something interesting. Really wish I had recorded this game, but thankfully I can play you the replay. If I had to suffer through this game, so do you. So I'm going first, and I'm feeling pretty good about this hand. Until I get max seed. Which, whatever. I mean, I kind of want to get the draws, see if I can draw into some traps, maybe some more interaction, hand traps, something like that. So I pitch the Foxy to draw 2. Obviously, you deck thin first. And I pull a second book, which is not terrible. It's pretty good. And my opponent is on Pearly. Now, I'm just going to fast forward through this because this whole going second hand, like, I saw what the field spell did, and I knew I had to. And when he summoned the Pearly and special summoned it, I knew I was boned. Like, I can't target it because of the field spell. So this Book of Moon does nothing. And he's just going to be able to, X-Pearly me for my life savings. And, I assume this is like standard Pearly stuff. I haven't really seen much Pearly. I don't know why he didn't put this in attack and attack me. But who knows? Maybe he forgot he was going second. And he does a bunch of stuff in the standby. I activate this because there's not really any point not to. And at this point it's no longer unaffected. But I summon this and I pop it. And then I go this. And he flips Tikaboo. He flips Tikaboo. Pearly plays Tikaboo? Are these not the same types? Fairy, 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 fairy. Is it just because he only ends on the one X Pearly Noir? This feels so bad. If I had drawn my back row removal, maybe I could have done something. But at that point, I'm staring down an X Pearly that I can't out. So much wrong with that. So much wrong with this game. Let's go deck edit and see if maybe there's something we can do in deck edit to maybe stave off this in the future. I think it's finally time to throw in the kaijus. Like, I'm gonna cut down on the will, and I'm going to cut a Foxy. This is so annoying. I need more back row removal. But the best one I could get by a lot is, I believe, a UR in this game. Because I believe Cyclone is a UR. Oh. I have Galaxy Cyclone. Do I play more back row removal? I think every game that I've drawn the Raigeki, it hasn't actually done anything. Like, the new decks that are in the format are Pearly. Kashtira is still a threat. Oh, let me change the name. Like, Kashtira is still a threat. Pearly is new to the scene. What was the other deck that was introduced? Oh, Makanko. Makanko is like a go second strategy. I think the bulk of what was introduced was Pearlies and Makankos. Those are the only things that I think are causing any sort of stir right now. So I think, unfortunately, that's the best I'm going to be able to do for now. I don't necessarily love throwing the... Maybe I should toss the Cyclones out and put the other stuff back in. Throw back in the Raigeki. And what was the other card I cut? The Foxy. Really like to get a third Ash. Save and return. Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's annoying. Pearly's annoying. Plat is sort of where I knew things would start to get kind of hairy, so I'm not unprepared for this eventuality, but I'll report back in a little bit. I just want you all to understand. I finally won a game. Look at this match history. I lost 3 games in a row. This one I showed you the replay of. This one was just the worst deck I've ever seen in my life. And it just absolutely hosed me. The fact of the matter is, they opened Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which I negated. And then they just had Gamma Seal anyway to out my Sunlight Wolf to turn off my Rage. And then they activated Danger Thunderbird, missed the Thunderbird and summoned it, and then Change of Hearted my Gamma Seal that they gave me, and overlaid for this idiot. No TK'd me. Nothing I could have done. And then this game, oh my gosh, look at this absolute dog crap. Oh my gosh. This, I don't know how I managed it, but for whatever reason, I went second too, and I set up a board. But they just kept having interaction, and I just did not draw anything to deal with their stuff, and I couldn't. No, I went second. I went second. I did not go first. I went second, and they just set up an insane board. They ended on Hope Harbinger, two of the rank fours. I don't remember which ones. One of the ones that like makes your guys with 2,000 or more attack cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which meant I couldn't access code destroy things. They ended on this idiot, which is like $50 in the TCG, by the way. This card should not be that expensive. And then they ended on this thing, which wasn't even live. They didn't even have the material to use its like pop effect. So I outed this thing because I didn't want to have to deal with a monster negate because I drew into a kaiju. And then I just started climbing into an access code, and for some reason I couldn't activate transcode's effect to reborn a monster, and I'm not sure why. I still don't know why. I mean, if there's like some effect that I missed that made it where I couldn't activate its effect, because it prompted me to activate the effect of Update Jammer, but it didn't give me the opportunity to activate the effect of Transcode. If there's some card that like negates the effects of certain monsters on the field, then let me know. But you have to see this replay. This is the game that I finally won. After a 3-loss streak, I queue up into this game, and honestly, I wasn't even looking at that great of a hand. I was thinking this hand loses if I get max seed, like, and I have like nothing that I can set. I didn't draw any Book of Moons. These don't do anything. And then they just scooped after seeing Circle. Like, is that what people do now? They just scoop if they see that you're playing Salamangreat? What? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. You can see some of my previous matches. That doesn't feel that great in terms of winning it, but you know, we take those, I guess. The last couple times I've done this, it's ended in disaster. You know, I would like very much to get some live commentary. And I'm about to rank up again. Win and you'll gain a rank. Okay. Just give me what I need for this, please. This person has some of the bells and whistles. I'm going first. That's terrifying. These OTK decks have just gotten too sophisticated. This hand is really good. Okay. If they ash me here, I get the big sad. Nope. Normal summon. Please don't max C. That would make me enormous sad. Okay, good. Imperm. The Bale Links. That's annoying, but not the end of the world. I mean, I'll just chain Gazelle. The question becomes, yes, I can end on, I think I can end on both traps. Really hoping they don't have a second imperm. Here we go. Let's send the other trap. I could send the field spell. No, we're gonna do special the Sunlight Wolf. add back the gazelle. I mean, this is functionally the same board. I just am short a material because I have to use the spinning to make the second Sunlight Wolf. But, you know, that's a pretty powerful 2-card combo. Nope, I'm adding it back. I keep doing this. I could have set it and then added back the quick play. I did this in the last game. Alright, let's set the fort. And then we also have Maxi. So I think we should be okay. I had to pause it because it was overloading, but they drew. They're down a card. Actually, how many cards? Yeah, they're just down 1 card. Okay. Traded for the field spell, basically, which is fair. But they saw me add the gazelle. I think it's better to save the imperm for the gazelle. Oh, please set 2. Oh, what do we got? End turn. Yes! Oh my gosh. I am gonna rage this man for his life savings. Let's do it. Rage targets. Hit them both. Without any banished cards. Ooh, he was playing some kind of weird Grand Maju burn. Oh ho ho. Oh, you love to see it. The curse is lifted. And that is Plat 3. 2 ranks down. 3 more to go. Then, for the first time ever, I will be in Diamond. This is actually the highest I've gotten in my other account as well. I only ever got to Plat 3. That's because I started this series before I could continue grinding anymore. And then the ELO reset, so I'm back down to like gold or something. But I will report back later. Actually, I'm going to report back right now. I'm going to pause it to let the encoding figure its life out. And then... Oh, no. It seems to have caught up. I lied. But those ultra crafting points... Like 18 things to redeem. But these UR crafting points means that we can craft another UR because we were only 2 away previously. Let's collect some gems too. Hot 40. And darts. Is that like an icon or like a... What is that? I don't know. Let's go to deck edit. We have another UR we can craft. So what do we craft? Do we craft the Dweller? I feel like we don't need it. The question is, do I craft the 3rd Ash Blossom? Like, I feel like that's like a huge, like, boost to our going second ability. We're gonna get a bunch more. I think we're gonna get like close to 3 more UR crafts if we use up the full dual pass. So, Royal? No. I do think that adding the 3rd Ash is going to have an immediate impact on how our opening hands look. And we're pretty close to pulling some more SR crafting material. So, let me see. How close are we? Yeah, we're like 3 more bars away from getting some of that. So, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm going to continue grinding and report back when something interesting happens. Alright, I need to show you this game. My first game of Plat 3. You can see from the screen it was a win, but man, this felt like performing surgery. I really felt like I played this really, really well. First off, this hand's insane. This hand's cracked. And I'm going first. This felt kind of bad. And I don't understand why they didn't max C on the normal summon. I don't know if they were trying to build a chain link or something. I don't know. They missed out on a draw here. And they did hit on the Havness, which is kind of lame. But I hit some pretty big hits off of the Buffalo, so I felt pretty good. And of course, they're playing on my turn, as Tier Limit does. I don't have a very good track record against this deck, so I'm not feeling too great about it. I realize that the Rukulos only negates things that special summon, so I will, hoping to fiend out the Rukulos, and they just take the bait. They just eat it up. Nom 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 nom. And so that sort of frees me up to just kind of go off as I see fit. I do see a point where I could have maybe optimized this a little bit. I go for the Gazelle and I send the Foul thinking that I needed another 4 material. But I could very easily just summon a 4 off of Mirage Stalio and get into it that way. I could have sent the counter trap off of this, which would have made my turn 1 board a lot better. I do a little yoinky sploinky here, the bounce the Foul to summon the Falco, and it triggers the Foul. I go for the Sunlight Wolf, and then I Mirage Stalio to bounce the Rukulos, and then I Raigeki to destroy the Magnuma, because I just want to cut them off of material. Because I think my only way out of this, where I don't win, is if they're able to sort of go into a Link monster, because my plan is to go Relinked Sunlight Wolf, and I set the circle, hoping that I can use it as an interruption to make my Sunlight Wolf unaffected. But I know that the only way they can out this is with a Link monster, possibly. I did not think about the fact that Druis Worm has a second effect. And so, pretty much the first action they make on their turn is tributing it for the Bestial Lubellion, which outs my Baguska. But I'm feeling pretty good because I still have a pop and I can make my Sunlight Wolf unaffected. And a lot of times with stuff like this, it really is just a matter of like knowing when to activate your effects. This chain link is unbelievable. I think that I'm out of the woods, but I forget that Keldo is also a shuffler and can activate from field. So they remove pretty much all of my high impact targets to Sunlight Wolf add back, but they can't shuffle everything back. So I do have the ability to still resolve Sunlight Wolf and get a material, which honestly, I'm just looking for card advantage at this point. And I want to cut them off with their normal summon, which seemed to be the correct play. And now that they've gone to end phase, I know that I'm kind of out of the woods, so I don't need to save the circle as an interruption. So I add the spinny, just wanting more material. And it's at this point that they sort of see the writing on the wall, because there was nothing they popped there that would have accomplished what they wanted, because I had everything. I had Gazelle in hand. I added the spinny, which means I can easily get into 2 materials, which can just be Access Code Talker on its own. If they hit the Buffalo, I just get draws. If they hit the field spell, which they did, I can just add it back with Sunlight Wolf if I need it. If they hit the back row, like the back row, they know what it is. It's just a will. It's probably not even going to be activated this turn. I don't need it to kill them. And if they hit the Sunlight Wolf, that kind of sucks, but I have, again, Gazelle in hand. My plan was to normal summon the Buffalo, go into the Heatleo and shuffle back the back row. I didn't realize it would be chainable like that, and they just sort of shotgun it. But man, that felt surgical. I felt like I just like dissected this guy's entire board and like his whole deck. That felt really good. And that is a huge change from some of the games I've had up to this point, where I've just felt like I've been completely destroyed. That makes me feel good. We're going to see how much further I can take it. All right. Back to the old grind. I had pretty fun time last few games, if I remember correctly. See what missions we got. I think they're just like dailies. Yeah. Packs I'm never gonna open. Still, still can't get the rest of the structures, but we'll get there eventually. So let's take a peek at the deck just to sort of check in and see where we're at. So we're on version 12, which I think is correct. Crafted our third Ash. I don't remember if that was super recent or if I've played some games since then. Doing some kaijus because Pearly is running rampant right now. So let's see who's on the ladder. I'm gonna do some grinding. Let me see how many games till I rank up. 3 more to get to Plat 2, so we're gonna try and do that today. All right, that was pretty good. We got 2 wins in a row. We played against Kashtira. He opened some pretty interesting stuff. He opened Fenrir, which I ashed, which turned on the tactics that he had in hand. But he also had preparations in hand, and what was the other card he had in hand? I don't know if I ever actually saw what the other set card was. If I did, it had to have been like an Imperm or something. If it was like a Macrocosmos, he would have flipped it. But yeah, he just bricked to high heaven. I guess he was on like Dark Rulers and maybe like multiple copies of Tactics. I don't know. He drew 2, and then that didn't get him out of it either. I think he max C'd me and then ashed me, or maybe not exactly in that order. And I just went in. I just took the max C challenge and I destroyed him into the sun, which felt really good. And then played against this, which is like a weird rank 4 Lunalite deck that plays like the Phantom Knights guy. Oh, is Kali Yuga Turbo. Oh, I see. So the goal is to Kali Yuga on your opponent's turn. Well, I went first and he couldn't play through Counter Trap Rage. If I had just Rage, he evenly'd me, which probably would have lost me the game. But because I had the Counter Trap to negate the evenly, he goes main 2 and then normal summons Kaleido Chick, which I'm like, whatever, dump your Yellow Martin. But then he scales the Lunalite Tiger, which I was under the impression this was at 1, but I think that's just in the TCG, not in Master Duel. He scales it, activates its effect to target Yellow Martin, and then I just pop it and the Kaleido Heart, and that's GG. So we're now 1 away from Plat 2. I'm going to record the game. No idea if the curse is real, if I'm going to queue up and my hand's going to be bad, my opponent's going to be playing something I can't deal with. I have never played against somebody with the Galatea mate and had a good game. They're either playing something super try hard or they're just playing like the cheesiest thing you've ever seen that aims to just sort of either FTKU or go second. And since they chose, this hand is so good. Since they chose to go first, I'm pretty confident in saying that they're not playing like a strictly OTK deck. Oh, I probably should have. Oh, they're playing Generator. I think I wait, because if they have boss stage, I get 2 free draws on my turn. If I ash this, do they have follow-up? They've used their normal summon. They have to have drawn the level 9 that can summon itself or access to boss stage, which is not guaranteed. If they just drop the boss stage here. Yep, here we go. Here's the question. I have the twin. I can just pop the boss stage. I feel like that's probably better. Like on my turn in draw phase, I just sort of activate twin. Yes. Yes! Oh boy, here we go. So let's do on. So I draw, they trigger boss stage, I chain twin. And I think I'm going to pitch the maxi because I don't expect that. Yes, I want to hit another one. This might be incorrect because if that trap is like, oh, it wasn't. What was it? It wasn't the trap. It was World Legacy Monstrosity. Ooh. Okay. If we hit Gazelle off of this Foxy, listen, I'm just built different. I don't know what to tell you. I'm so sorry. We will chain the foul because I do want the 2 materials on field. Any summonable monster though wins me the game. Like if it's oh, listen, okay, listen, chat. I'm just built different. What can I say? This is just the YouTuber difference, I guess. Honestly, it didn't matter because I had Will to reborn one of the guys anyway. So, honestly, this is overkill to a certain extent. The question is, can I do this in a way that doesn't lose to Nibiru? I'm trying to think. I can go... Yeah, I'll activate the effect of Gazelle here. I don't think I can because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is already the 4th summon. What I can do is I can just sort of go in and save the will. If they nib me, I can just like activate the will. Because I have the materials to access code OTK, I think I'm okay going for the trap here. So if this glows, oh, it didn't glow. Unless they're what's the term? Unless they're really holding on to this toggle. Unless they're toggle andying, that's the word. Okay. I think I just win. I think this is just game. Well, their name is That Scrub, so maybe that should have been an indication that the person I was playing against wasn't necessarily tryharding. Although, you know, to be fair to Dyer specifically, there are builds of this deck that kind of go hard. So I kind of get it. I think that's just game. Yep. And that's it. Man, this Plat climb has been way easier than I could have thought. And to think, if I had used my materials more thoughtfully, we could have more crafting materials available to us. And that's Plat 2. This is now the highest rank I have ever gotten to in this game. All off the back of a deck I built opening 0 master packs. That means if we don't lose a single game, we are 8 wins away from Diamond. That's crazy. And I guess while we're here, well, first of all, let's receive some of these rewards. If I can get the structures, I might go for that real quick, but I don't think it matters all that much. Yeah, I'm still like 60 away, but we might get it from here. No, we're only gonna get... Oh, wait. We did. We got 80. Okay, so while we're here, let's go ahead and finish off all the structure decks. Not really one that I need necessarily, but if I decide that I want to play any of these cards, then that'll be good to have. I think this is the lowest number of gems we've had since the series started, which is kind of crazy. Let's go to the deck. Let's go to deck edit. Let's take a look. We can now craft an SR. What SR should we craft? Trying to think what SR is going to have the biggest immediate impact. What was in this Blackwing deck anyway? Anything like remotely generic? I guess the closest thing. Well, you get like trap stun, but that's not gonna cut the mustard. I think maybe a second twin, or we could get a cosmic. Cosmic is really good too, especially because it banishes. That's really good against tier specifically. And that deck is kind of good right now. Let's see. What would I cut? Probably the Lady Debug. I'm going to craft the Cyclone. And let's see. Royal Rare. Man, I can't even get the glossies. Like, none of the stuff I've crafted except for this Max C exactly has had any sort of shine to it. We're going to cut the Lady Debug. As good as Lady Debug is in general, you know, it's a normal summonable Cyburst that pluses us immediately. It gets into Bailings. It's really good late game, but unfortunately, most of these games have not had any sort of significant long-term game, and in those games, typically the actual Salamangreat cards are what get me there over a long grind game. And again, I think the games that are the most problematic for me have been the ones where I don't draw enough non-engine. Like, man, in that game against Pearly where they had the, what was it, Rivalry, or was it Gozen? Or no, it was Tikaboo. They had a Tikaboo. That was brutal. If I had a Cosmic or a Twin, I would have been in that game. More than I was, but ultimately, I needed like Kaiju plus Cosmic in order to out that field, which... Or Twin. Or Harpies. Having more options for back row removal, I think is really good. I think once we get the UR crafting points, we're definitely going for the Dweller. Alright, I'm going to try to hit 4 more in a row and see if we can make our way into Plat 1. I'll report back. Alright, this game was something else. We're gonna find this out together. You ready? Before we even do anything, let's just watch the replay. But I want to see what this person was playing. Spoilers, I didn't actually figure out what this person was playing. And I'm going to show you why. This hand's looking pretty scrumdiddly-umptious, if I'm being honest. And they hit me with Desires. Sure, banish 10. And I hit them with the Hot Ash. I felt like that was a pretty solid place to Ash. And you know what? Apparently it was a pretty solid place to Ash. Because I guess they couldn't play the game and they really needed that Ash to resolve. What on earth was this person playing? Pearly? Huh. You play Desires in Pearly? I had no idea that was even a card that got played in this deck. What was their hand? 2 Imperms, 2 Max C, and a freaking... No, it couldn't have been Max C, because if they had Max C, they would have just passed. Because then they could have, like, drawn into Droll, they could have drawn into Imperm. What was it? It couldn't have been Tactics, because if they had Tactics, they would have just activated it. Was it just, like, the field spell and nothing else? What does the field spell do? Your opponent cannot target once per turn. If a face-up control leaves the field, you can special summon. Once per turn during the end phase, you can target a Pearly Xyz on the field, attach a Pearly. Yeah, the field spell does nothing. So if they open, like, 2 of the field spell, 2 or 3 Desires, like, I can see why that Desires needing to resolve was such a big deal. But I feel like they opened, like, they had to have opened, like, 3 desires, 2 field spell. Exactly. For this to have been a situation where they felt like they needed to just scoop them up. That's insane. This deck is so consistent, and yet they found the exact 5 card hand that loses them the game off of one singular Ash. Well, that's only the first game in Plat 2, so we're going to keep going. Alright, I don't know what just happened, but it definitely happened. So, this guy was playing Kashtira Tearlament, I guess. Well, I guess just the Fenrir's. Yeah, he destroyed me, as you can see. But then this person, I don't even know what they were playing. They were also playing Tearlament. Oh. They passed, doing nothing. And then on my turn, I believe they just impermed me, if I'm not mistaken. So their hand must have been pretty bad. Yeah, I couldn't even kill them. They impermed my access code when I went to go attack for lethal, and I added Gazelle off of a mining and had Ash in hand. So I guess if they had like something to do, I maybe could have ashed it. So maybe it was inevitable that I took them down if their hand was bad. But man, that was something else. But that's not the only reason you're here, I'm sure. Do we have any missions? We have dual pass. We got more crafting points. I don't think that's enough to craft another SR. Let me look. For some reason I was thinking we were close to crafting another SR. No. We need more URs. Alright, well, I'm going to keep grinding. I'll report back when there's something interesting. Alright, this last game was infuriating. Look at this deck. What the hell am I looking at? Branded, Bestial, friggin' Tearlaments, Ishizu cards for some reason. I don't know what this deck is doing or what it aims to do. But of course it opened grass. But I really need you guys to just see one specific play. Because I don't know if I'm underestimating or if I'm overestimating or if it's just not come up in a way that it should. The power of using circle as an interruption. Part of the problem was I kind of just like played into Max C super hard. I just decided that there wasn't really much I could do outside of just, going for it and hoping that setting up the normal board would be enough to stop what they're doing. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that this person is playing a 60 card monstrosity. I just didn't pay close enough attention to that fact. So I end on Circle Rage. And it's at this point that I'm just completely unsure what's even happening. And they're just kind of doing whatever. And it's at this point that I think, what could they possibly be going for with the poly? It hadn't occurred to me that they could be going for a Chimera. If I had popped both of these with the Rage, they would not have been able to go Chimera. And I think I might have been able to survive. Because this Chimera, of course they target these, well, it doesn't target, but they decide to go after these two, which I can, protect with the Bale Links, but that uses my Bale Links for the turn. And this is the position I was in where I'm suddenly thinking, so I know that when you're going for like a Link summon using your opponent's monsters, like with Underworld Goddess, then unaffected monsters can still be used as material, but I wasn't sure if you could fusion summon with a monster that's unaffected, because if I target it with the circle, it becomes unaffected. And of course, this chain link gets massive. So it takes a minute for me to even discover whether or not I've done this correctly. And the fact that it resolved without effect meant that, yes, unaffected monsters are in fact unaffected by the effect of Albaz, which I guess when you say it that way makes a lot of sense, but I was concerned just because there were other situations where they are affected by it. But either way, and if I had done the better play of removing these guys from the field before they could go for the Chimera, I'd have the Balinks engraved to protect. And of course, I didn't realize Gazelle can't trigger in the. I forgot that Gazelle can't trigger in the battle phase anyway, but that loss felt like I could have, like, maybe min maxed a little bit, but I don't know. The deck was so weird. Like, look at this record so far in Plat 2. Like, it's just been so bad. Like it's just been like, here's where I finished Plat 3, and then pretty much the entirety of Plat 2 has just been win lose win lose win lose. Hoping I can get 4 in a row to get into Plat 1, maybe eventually make it to Diamond, but we'll see. I'll report back when I have something interesting. Alright, this climb is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Man, Plat 2 is no joke, man. I did beat Lab because I top decked Duster and had Ash for the big welcome. And when they debarriered me, I'm just like, that does nothing to my deck. They called Xyz, which is like the best thing you can probably call against my deck specifically. That cuts me off of the Stalio, but I ain't going Stalio if I'm going second into like basically an empty board. So we got some more UR dust, which, you know, I keep saying that I'm going to use it on Dweller, but it keeps not being something I actually need. Something that I think has been missed desperately is Called by the Grave. I think I'm crafting Called by. I'm never ever gonna get a royal in this series, am I? So let's see, what do I cut? I'm trying to think what's cuttable. Probably the second rage. One of each is probably fine. I just liked the chance of possibly hard drawing it, but I think having one of each is sort of standard at this point. So I'm feeling pretty good. That means we are now at version 14 of the deck. I think that's all the changes I have for right now. Oh, one thing I can do, I was just looking. I don't know if it'll matter, but I can craft the third Godarla, which I will do. I don't think I'm going to play it necessarily, but having it as an option is nice. So we're going to do that, and then I'm going to continue climbing, and I'll check back in a little bit. This is proving far more difficult. Of course, I decide not to throw in the third kaiju, and I immediately queue up against Pearly, where I desperately want this stupid kaiju. So, did not draw Called by for the maxi. Did draw Duster, which did not come up. And yeah, my hand was not even that bad, but I'm going to throw this third kaiju in and see if we can clutch some wins, maybe. My suffering is immense. My pain is unimaginable. This is This is not okay. This is this is not okay. Oh, this is not okay. Uh, we're so back. Oh my gosh. Th- what am I looking at? What did they have set? This dude special Fenrir. I maxied. They added a second Fenrir, set one, and passed. I normal summoned Buffalo, linked it into Bale Links, and went Buffalo 1, Bale Links 2, and they scooped. Okay, cool. I'm feeling better than I was before. I'm still very, very tilted from this 4 loss streak here, but I'm hoping I can dust it off and get a 4 win streak going, baby. Let's go. Is the problem me? Is the problem my deck? Is it just not a good format to be doing something like this right now? I'm wondering when I have to start considering opening packs to try and pull stuff so that I can start building things to upgrade this deck. But at the same time, it's like, would that even matter? Is this deck even capable of putting up results like that? I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I'm just not sure what to do. I'm staring at this list, wondering what's the problem. It's hard to imagine doing much more to try and streamline this. I feel like I'm including things just for like certain eventualities, and like they do come up. Like the back row removal is great when I need it, and the kaijus and the books, they're great when I need them too. I mentioned before that the problem was I was drawing too much engine, but now I feel like at this point I'm drawing not enough non-engine. But I'm playing so much non-engine. Like I'm playing 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards of non-engine. Like I wonder if some of these cards are even worth playing. Like do I even play Will? Is Will even a good card to be playing? I genuinely wonder. Like would it be better if I just cut the Will and played like a different non-engine card? Like I threw back in one of the enemy controllers. I feel like every time I've needed Will, I needed it. Would Will be better if it was Monster Reborn? I feel like the instances where Will is better than Monster Reborn are instances where I'm already winning the game. Like yes, this is theoretically a soul charge, but if I get to the point where I can use this as a soul charge, I'm probably way ahead already. Like if I can go into a double linked Sunlight Wolf, I could have just update access code probably, because that's 3 material. Yeah, because those 3 material could have been update jammer plus a third link material, reborn the update jammer, go access code. And that's on the 5th summon, so I can't play it under Nibiru. But Nibiru, I don't think is seeing a ton of play this format. I I think it's actually just better if I play Reborn. Because, like, top decking a Reborn in a situation where I don't have a good Salamangreat engraved to bring back is good, and it allows me to take stuff from my opponent. Like, if they're playing a really strong monster, I can just yoink it. I don't think I'm going to play more tonight. It's already past 11:30, and I've been staying up past midnight consistently the past, like, 3 nights. And I just can't keep doing that. I can play some more tomorrow during my break. So maybe we'll do that. As I'm recording this, episode 3 should be going up tomorrow. That should give you an idea of how long I've been recording this one episode. It's a good thing everything's recorded in advance because this platinum climb is taking forever. I don't think it's going to be much better once I get to diamond. I'm beginning to think that I might need to split this into 2, depending on how far I can get next week before Friday rolls around. I'm close on getting another SR craft. Let me look. What do my rewards look like? When's the next time I get? Oh man, I gotta go like another 5 before I can get more SR crafting points. That's so annoying. All right, well I'm gonna call it for tonight. You'll hear from me in the morning, possibly. All right, we've switched to game capture in OBS because apparently that's a thing you can do. So we're gonna see if we can get some stuff done. Now, I am not feeling the best about where we're at with this episode. So episode 3 just went up. Already got a subscriber off of it, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Shout out to that guy. But I'm still just fumbling my way through it. Like you can see, there's a lot more losses than wins recently. And I don't know if it has to do with the time of day that I'm doing it, or if it has to just do with the way I built the deck, if it has to do with the way I'm playing, or if this deck is just really difficult to climb Plat with. I got to 2 so quickly, but getting into 1 has been extremely difficult. So I'm going to try and play, and I'll report back once something has hopefully happened. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack with this game. I'm starting here so that, you're not spoiled on how it goes. But, first and foremost, what is this name? Is this anti-Semitic? Should I report this person? I think I might report this person. This name feels anti-Semitic. Anyway, I go first. I get max seed for my life savings. Just kidding. I do get max seed, but for some reason they choose to do it here, which they lost out on a draw, but I'm not going to complain about that. I debated heavily on that send whether to go for the Rage or the Roar because I knew all I would end on was a max C and my set plus protection. I thought maybe I can set the Roar to protect the max C because that seemed like a good idea, but I thought, Rage is such a strong card. Popping 2 is so powerful that I really can't turn that down. And of course they did have the answer. I mean, they drew like 9 cards, so. And then they max C me on my turn, which, okay. Obviously they're playing Cashier. A person with this name couldn't be playing any other deck. Now, it's at this point, I let them sort of cook for a minute because I'm like, well, I know that they have the um, Rise Heart in hand, and with access to Birth, when they had these three cards on field, there was no favorable pop. Come to find out, they also had. Did they already activate it? Is it underneath? Oh, it is. So they had Ascendant of Thunder, which sort of invalidated some of the stuff I was thinking about, because they activated this and got the Rise Heart, which sort of made my Rage seem less profitable. But I thought, they're gonna go for an Xyz at some point. Two materials are gonna get put into one, and that sort of makes my Rage a little bit more profitable. And when they went for the Tomahawk, thank goodness it's an ignition effect, because not turn player, but I used it to pop it, and then they go for the Sunlight Wolf, which the correct play would have been to do the Sanctuary, because then I can't get it back, and that's integral to a lot of my plays. They still had the ability to go for rank 7, and they decided to go for Diablosis plus Fenrir. This was where they ended. They already used their battle phase, and they took out my access code talker, and I'm just losing stuff left and right to the stupid Diablosis. But I decided to just, start playing pretty conservatively with my Gazelle, saving it for as late into the combo as I can until I know they don't have any more interaction. And it's at this point that I think to myself, I need to put as much damage on the board, and the best way to do that is to just flood the field. I want to clear the Diablosis because it has too much attack for anything I have to be able to get over it. So I figure the Mirage Stalio is the best bet. And the reason I didn't activate the summon effect is something you'll see in a second. I had plans, and those plans involved Update Jammer. And you might be thinking, but he banished your access code. Why did you go Update Jammer? Well, for those of you that were around before access code came out back in late 2019, early 2020, you'll know there was an update OTK before access code came out. And that is it. I have now defeated anti-Semitism. Apparently the only thing you can report people for is slow play or modding, and he didn't do either of those things, so I just blocked him. Oh, I don't want to jinx it, but this deck is finally starting to give me what I need. Let's go ahead and check this out. The icon for this person definitely spoils what they're on. I'm just going to warn you there. So, I believe I lose the die roll, but looking at this kaiju thinking, if this is Pearly, I just win. And of course, it's Pearly. I have no clue what this set was. Oh, I remember what it was. Never mind. They do eventually use it. So we're just going to fast forward through all this, because I will say, after doing all of this, I am becoming far more familiar with the individual Pearly cards. I had no clue what this... No, I want to read it. What this last effect was. And then... Is it in here? Yeah, the last effect of the trap that shuffles 3 back. I fumbled that effect pretty badly. For some reason, I was thinking that shuffling them back mattered. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I'm staring down a board of this. And for turn, I draw Called By. Which, maybe that sort of telegraphs to the more astute among you why and how I mess it up. But I kaiju, they my friend, and they Perleap. I for some reason decide that this is the best place to Called By, and then they max see me, proving that I should have just saved the Called By. If I had saved the Called By, I wouldn't be under max C right now. But I don't think it ultimately ends up mattering. I think if this person had been willing to play this out, maybe it would have gone differently. But the fact is that they were not, and eventually it says connection failed, but I'm pretty sure they just scooped. But I activate this, and it's at this point I realize my original plan was to Baguska them, but I realize that if I activate Falco's effect to reset the Rage, I can't activate its effect to summon it. So I'm feeling like I kind of fumbled the bag there, but I'm ending on interaction at the very least. And we're going for this, and I don't know, they just scooped. Again, it says connection failed, but I'm pretty sure they scooped. At this point, I was going to link this off for Sunlight Wolf, bounce the Kaiju back to my hand for follow up next turn, add back the Gazelle with Sunlight Wolf, and then end on Rage, Sunlight Wolf, and the Gazelle, and mining that they didn't know about, and the Kaiju in hand for next turn in case they have a chance to follow it up. I banished the X Pearly Noir. I don't know how many these decks tend to play. Let's just take a look. He's playing two, but the X Pearly Noir will be negated for the following turn. So it wouldn't be negated for my turn, but it will be negated for his turn. I don't know if you can still summon it under those conditions, but that is something to keep in mind. Oh, this is agonizing. I'm beginning to think that doing this during the day is just better because I'm thinking I'm getting people that aren't quite as good. I feel like a lot of the good players wait till the evening to play. But I don't know. I really don't want to jinx it, but I also want to capture these moments when they happen. So I got two more before I get to Plat 1. I will report back with hopefully good news, but odds are I'm going to lose my streak. It's probably fitting that the deck I lose to is freaking Numeron of all things. They opened Golem, Lightning Storm into my board of Balinx and Gazelle. If I had ended on just the Sunlight Wolf, I could have avoided getting Lava Golem. Is that something I'm going to have to consider now? Do I need to start playing around Lava Golem? They had Max C. I did not mention this. This Royal is pretty nice. I have a Royal on my main account, which is funny because this is the deck that got me to Plat 3 on my main account. This extra deck is very sparse in terms of like the version I played. What rarity is this? SR? Alright. Well, of all the decks to lose to, that one was kind of inevitable. I knew that once they dropped the Lava Golem, if they were playing Numeron, I was just dead. So I'm gonna. Oh, I only need three more. I guess I don't need to do them in a row. I guess I don't know how these ranking. I guess I don't know how it works with the ranking stuff. So I'm gonna try to climb out of Plat 2. I guess I only need to do like two or three in a row in order to sort of secure a higher position in the rank. So we'll see how it goes. I really don't want to jinx it, but we're so close. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. My wife's napping upstairs. 31 crafting points. Question is, what do I craft? I could craft another cosmic. That might not be bad. The problem is that I really don't want to, like, I need cards that like get me out of sticky situations or help me going second. I'd like to get more outs to Maxi, but unfortunately the only other out is also a UR. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to this for now. I don't think I need to craft anything, so I don't want to do this game on camera because I feel like the second I start recording, I'm gonna get somebody who is just trying way too hard. But once it's clear that I'm ranking up into Plat 1, I'll record that and then give you a replay of how the game went. Yeah, it didn't work. I sort of fumbled the bag against Hero. Oh, 60 cards too, geez. Yeah, they ended on Decimator, DPE, Bane, and Absolute Zero, and they had the D Tactics and a Judgment. I had Called By for the DPE, but they had Judgment for the Called By. I had a Kaiju for the Ab Zero, but I didn't have any way of clearing the Malicious Bane without going into Mirage Stalio, but I couldn't go into Mirage Stalio and update access code. So I tried to have my cake and eat it too, and tried to go for a not Bailings, Buffalo line, but realized that I didn't have any cards in hand. I would have a discard for Buffalo, but not until the chain resolved, but Buffalo didn't know that, so it didn't let me activate it. Very annoying. And I went into transcode hoping to access code and realized that I had Kaiju, which locked me out of going into the transcode. So big ol' L, but thankfully it only dropped me down one game, so I just need to win 2 more and I should be good. We'll report back once we have something interesting. Alright, we got another win, but I'm a little confused because this person like set 1 monsters, set 1 spell trap, and then passed. They ashed my Gazelle, and I just kept going, I guess, and they just scooped it up. I don't know. Oh, I see. It was like an insect deck. They were playing Tactics. I had Maxi in hand, so I thought I should Tactics in the drawer standby to see if I can play around it, but it ended up not mattering because I ended up not even activating Maxi. So 1 more and we're in Plat 1. And that is GG. Oh, finally. You have no clue how difficult this climb has been for my mental health. Oh, yes. Oh, man, we are 1 rank away from Diamond. Oh, man. That's so good. It's so close. I can taste it, guys. We got a bunch of stuff to pick up from the dual pass. Nothing too crazy. Let's see what materials I have for crafting a card. Oh, we're real close on the UR. Yeah, I don't know what's worth crafting at this point. Unsure. I hear my dog pitter-pattering upstairs. I'm gonna go see if she needs to go out. In the meantime, I think I'm still just gonna hold on to the crafting points for now until I think of something I need. My wife is upstairs doing some lesson planning, so we're gonna try and get some more grinding done. Listen, I've had 2 crazy games in a row, and by crazy I mean crazy that I won them. So I played against this. He clearly had a Bestial in hand because it kept moving back to him for priority, And then I had to pop his Grangwignall, which has, oh, the effect to summon only triggers if I activate an effect that special summons. So this was dead. But they had some kind of reason that it was going back to them. The only thing I can think of is that it was a Bestial. I don't know what other card it could have been that they wouldn't have just activated, but we won that game. And then this person, oh, oh, poor guy. This is yet another example of queuing up against an extremely consistent Pearly deck, and they just set Imperm and pass. Like, it had to be like double talents. Oh, they also had an Ash, so it was like double talents, Ash, Imperm, and like Huntsman. Who knows? But yeah, that was pretty decisive. I didn't even get to battle phase before they scooped. That was a great win. Two more and we're in Diamond 5, baby, and then I can start editing this video. Yet more weird games. As we queue into this game, I'm not even going to show you the deck yet. I just want you to see this replay. This game was insane. You won't believe what happens. Yeah, they just scooped. It says connection failed, but like, what were they playing? Drytron? Well, no wonder they scooped. Alright, I lost to Pearly again. And this one really felt like there wasn't much I could do. They just kind of opened the nuts, and I went first and was able to set up, but they opened Red Reboot, and that was just not something I could play through because I opened one of the traps and then sent the other one. I don't know if I maybe should have diversified my interaction, maybe add back the quick play searcher that also doubles as an interaction, kind of, but ultimately it didn't matter. I drew basically everything I needed to break the board as best I could, but I was just one piece of interaction short because he went into Zeus, and I had the Kaiju for the Noir, but I did not have an answer for the Zeus, and the Zeus sent my only normal summon, and I just wasn't able to play the game. So thankfully it didn't knock me down too far. Two more wins and we'll have it in the bag. Well, that didn't work. Got matched up against whatever on earth this is. What even is this? How did I lose to this? Well, I lost to this because they opened the nuts, but that's beside the point. They went first and set up Pep plus Masquerena with Babble Up and like a loaded graveyard. I Kaiju the Pep, and I had a Book of Moon, but I wasn't disciplined enough with the Book of Moon. I should have waited because they weren't going to IP Masquerena and not activate the Harp Horror engrave because they didn't have Symbol Skeleton engraved yet. They needed to get Symbol Skeleton in order to turn their Dingirsu interrupt online. So I knew that if I waited for them to Harp Horror and then they summoned the guy, if I booked it before they had a chance to do anything, then I don't think I could have made it work though. I think I did the best that I could, but once they did that, they sort of took control of the game. I thought I had it a couple of times, but unfortunately Orcust, once it gets going, it's really difficult to keep up with. So we're back down to needing 3 wins. I'm gonna quit for tonight. It's bedtime. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I'll report back probably not till tomorrow night before bed. I'll have a little time maybe to jam some games, but in the meantime, that's all I got for now. Alright, we're back. So in the last few clips I noticed I was very quiet, and that's because my wife was directly upstairs from me. Oh, there was a secret thing for winning a duel without normal summoning. Interesting. Well, this is the deck to be able to do that. Ooh, I should add that to my title. Let's do it. Let's do edit. Title. Yeah, I have follow me, but nobody's followed me. I think we're gonna swap that out. That seems like a good idea. And then let's go over to the dual pass. Let's receive all of these. So something I was thinking about that I completely forgot when I was doing all that grinding before, and I don't even know if this is something that's like worth doing necessarily, but I realized that is it one or it's two words? That microcoder is an SR, and the counter trap is a rare, and I can craft those. Question is, can I craft a link to code talker? Because that kind of that's super important to being able to use the engine. Is being able to code. I could do. See, the good one is code talker inverted. I can do it with not access code, transcode talker. The problem is that I really like a 2 so that I can use it as extra material from hand as well. Here's the conflict. So I think I need another SR because I'd really like to get the inverted. And it helps me get material out of my hand. What does this one do? Cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect. Well, this card points to a monster. Was this printed before they had introduced the idea or introduced like the concept of using like linked as a keyword? Because that's what this says. It says cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects while linked. Like if this just said while linked, you could cut like 5 words from this effect. But maybe there's a difference between being linked and pointing to a monster that I'm not necessarily privy to. If I need to, I can craft the code talker, which is not terrible. It has better arrows than inverted, but I'd really like to be able to craft inverted. But I think that for now, I'm just going to craft them and keep them in the wings because there's something that I want to be able to have access to. So we're going to see if we can get a royal. Nope. Man, I am just getting no luck when it comes to these crafts. See, it's not even glossy. So annoying. So annoying. Really like to get the second called by, but that's going to come later. The question is, do we play it? Do we play the microcoder engine? I'm not sure. It would just be a search off of Signet Mining. Like, I would not be relying on drawing it because I only play the one copy. I don't think there's a way to more consistently get access to it. Well, it's crafted. We have it if we need it, if we decide that it's something that's worth throwing in. For now, I am going to continue grinding. Nice. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream. Once again, completely one game that was lost because I was running out of time. If I just had more time to think through my plays, and this is the third time, third time I have had a brain fart about transcode not working if I've used a kaiju. There's no other way to do it the way I want to do it. Like, I have to run kaijus. I ended on Baguska, and the annoying thing is that Druis Worm is a native way to out Baguska without losing any advantage. Like, it's a play you would go through anyway. It just tunnels you into adding a specific kaiju off, not kaiju, Bestial off of Lubellion if you don't already have the Druis Worm. Of course, this guy already had the Druis Worm and then held it forever. Like, oh man, this. I mentioned before that the one game I played earlier felt like surgery. This felt like I was having surgery performed on me. That was so awful. Oh my gosh, we're gonna try again, but I am back to needing 4 more wins to get into Diamond, and I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe once again I should just wait till tomorrow because it seems clear to me that nighttime is when all the tryhards come out, but we'll see what we can accomplish. It really feels like I'm doomed to just live in purgatory. Did I show this on screen already? Yeah, yeah. This is the Dragon Link player that I played against, and then I played against Numeron again. I think I know that they've said in the past that they base these things on usage. But if you're asking me, you should base it on the fact that this is a best of one format. Numeron is a degenerate deck in best of one. The fact is, this deck is way too good in best of one. Like, just load up on a bunch of Ghost Second staples, Max C, Gamma, Ash, Lava Golem, Kaijus, Dark Hole, Duster, Lightning Storm, Tactics, Called By, Droplet, Imperm, freaking Red Reboot. Like, I don't know what you would need to do, but this deck needs to not exist. Like, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, limit network, limit calling, limit wall. Like, limit all these guys. Limit 1, 2, 3, and 4. And while we're at it, limit C1 just because I'm petty. You know, ban C1. Get this man out of my format. He does nothing, but I'm just petty. I hate this deck. Okay? As somebody who made it into Plat using this deck, it is extremely helmet. Like, I coped saying that it was a difficult deck, like you needed to know when to use your interactions, but honestly, if you just click a bunch of Ghost Second staples, eventually your opponent's going to run out of interaction, and once they're out of interaction, you just drop a network, activate a wall, and you win. I think I flubbed it in that game because I saved my bailings when I should have just let it die, because then he would not have had enough to kill me. I don't know. I had a Foxy in hand, so I had like stuff to do on my turn. He probably would have ended on Megaclops, but I very easily could have at least had another turn. But this game is hilarious. Let's just go ahead and boot up the replay. I'm going to let you guys see exactly what happened in this game. It was very interactive. I really feel like it tested my abilities as a duelist. First of all, opening Max C always feels good. But seeing them normal summon Ariana does not feel good. And then they activate Nadir, and here Nadir is basically engage as it adds and draws a card. But I guess the draw wasn't good enough, because they just scooped. But I'm gonna be honest, we take those because I'm desperate for wins at this point. I'm so angry. The Like, I'm just pissed right now. Like, look at this. I lose to Sword Soul. This man drew everything. And then he exact lethals me. Oh my gosh. I'm so mad. Oh, we're so back. Oh man. You're never gonna believe what deck I beat. The, uh, Apparently, they were also playing runic cards in this Kashtira deck. I had no idea. They ended on Shangri Era Pass and then summoned Unicorn from deck. And for whatever unknown reason, they ripped Heatlio out of my extra. Like, there were two calls that would have been defensible. Really, three calls that would have been defensible. I think the one that's the highest impact is banishing the update jammer, but I can understand hitting transcode, and given the fact that your Shangri Era resists destruction, which is the premier way I'm going to out it using access code, you could also get rid of the Mirage Stalio, because that was how I outed the Shangri Era, was I bounced it with the Mirage Stalio. And this sort of harkens back to a point that I discovered at, relatively early on, and that's that the first effect of Mirage Stalio to summon from deck locks you into fire effects, but the second effect does not. The one that's if it's used for link material for a Salamangreat link, you can bounce some monster. That effect does not lock you. Meaning if you summon it and then immediately link it away, you can bounce something and not be locked out, which is, I've done that like 8 times over the course of this climb. It's amazing. And because of the fact that I sequenced things the way that I did, I was still able to update access code them, even after using 2 materials to make the Mirage Stalio. He was able to lock a zone with the Shangri Era, which I think was his main goal behind summoning the Unicorn. He just wanted to like lock a zone because he thought it would be important, which depending on the hand it is. The fact that I opened Sunlight Wolf and that was going to be one of my main extenders, he locked the zone under my Bale Links, which by the way, I accidentally clicked no when it asked if I wanted to search the field spell. Thankfully that was not something I needed to kill the person. But yeah, that game was hilarious. Feeling a little better. Still a little wary moving forward. But you know what? We're just going to kill it. I'm going to go on a 3-win streak, and we're just going to be in Diamond. I have never gone from optimistic to this pissed in my life. First of all, back to needing 4. This game is going to just cause my blood pressure to skyrocket. First of all, let's take a look at this deck. Math Mech. Alright? I guess Circular is still at 3 in this game. Good for them, I guess. But I need you to see this replay. I am fuming at this game. I'm so mad. I may just have to quit for the night and continue tomorrow, because this is... Look at this hand! What does this hand do? Answer me, YouTube. What does this hand do? Like, oh my gosh, look at this. I have to set 2 and pass. What a disgrace. Right on time. Just always there when I need it. So I just scoop. I will say, telling you all about my suffering does make me feel a lot better. So, maybe, just maybe, we'll try to jam at least a couple more games before I call it a night. This deck will not cooperate with me. Like, come on. Like, I'm so angry. There's 2 losses in a row. Look at this garbage. It's so unbearably bad. Like, it physically pains me to say that I lost to this. This idiot set Judgment off of Heavenly Prison, and it got banished. I'm in agony. It's the third loss in a row, and it was to Makonko. It's not even playing that big of a Makonko engine. If I had negated the preparation of rights with the counter trap, we might not have been in this situation. Or if I had sent the rage instead of the counter trap, maybe I wouldn't have to be in this situation. Okay, I need you to see this hand. Whoa, we're playing Marincess. I'm gonna let him cook. I'll report back. Alright, this is what they ended on. They're hovering in my draw phase. I drew Ash off the top, which is pretty good if they have Maxi. They're taking a long time. If they DC'd, that would be a really good way to end the day. Huh. I guess we take those. Oh. We can craft a UR. Well, that's interesting. What UR should we craft? So, I've sort of been thinking about it, and I think I want to try to avoid overthinking how the deck is built. I think ultimately, the card that's going to have the biggest impact is the second called by. Still no special finish. That's so annoying. The question is, what do we cut? I'm tempted. I'm leaning towards cutting non-engine. I feel like Reborn's not very good. It is an extender. And I didn't mention this before, but in the game against Orchist, I was able to reborn their Dingirsu, but was that good? Was that good enough is the question. I don't think it was. So we're on version 17, and I think my dog needs some attention, so I think I'm going to call it for a night. Alright, so it's the next day. We have, I guess, some missions. Oh, these are festival specific missions. I found out that doing the festival does count towards the duel pass, so that might be something that's worth doing if we decide that we need crafting points, but we don't necessarily want to risk deranking if we lose too much. But I saw something in the notifications. They added a new structure deck. And oh gosh. Huh. Wow, this is really bad. Wow. No, let's see. The only generic thing is debunk. I guess these structure decks aren't really the place they want to put generic high rarity staples. These are mostly there just to sort of get you started on building a deck. I see no point in even attempting to go for this. Oh, they added a new mate, the Hanzo. Alright. Well, we're super close to getting the next reward from the duel pass. I'm just going to continue grinding and report back if I have anything interesting to share. Oh boy, we got the run back, boys and girls. And non-boys and non-girls. Ready for this? Boom! This person opened Maxi, Ash, Armory Call. I believe it was Makonko Dance and something else. A couple other cards. I had Ash for the Maxi. They ashed my Bale Links, which did not matter. I ended on a board of Sunlight Wolf plus a set Book of Moon, which they MST'd the Book of Moon, which so they had a MST in hand too. And they bounced my Sunlight Wolf, and they had no way of dealing damage because these idiots have 0 attack. And the only way to do anything is to attack into something. So it rolls around to my turn. I have 2 Kaijus in hand. What do I draw for turn? Gazelle. It was so over. Oh, man. I had a Falco and a Spinny Engrave. I normaled the Gazelle, I think I sent the Spinny, and then I bounced the Gazelle with the Falco, summoned the Spinny, went into Update Jammer, activated Gazelle's hand effect to summon itself, and then summoned the Kaiju, went access code, 4300 access code attacks twice. That is GG, my guy. 2 more and we're in Diamond. Let's see if we can make it happen. Oh my gosh, this game was so sweaty. I'm gonna lose it, dog. Oh my gosh. We're just gonna run it back. This game made me feel things I haven't felt in a long time. I'll be honest, this was not a very good game. I'm not even going to give much commentary. I'm just going to let it play, and we're just going to sort of talk for a minute. So, one of the big problems that I've had on this climb so far is the fact that so many people are playing such competent decks, and my deck is so reliant on non-engine in order to sort of out a lot of problems that I'm finding myself drawing the wrong non-engine against the wrong matchups. In this matchup, I happened to draw a pretty good card, namely the Godarla. I would have preferred something like a Maxi or even like an Ash would have gone pretty hard. But ultimately, I'm sort of stuck kind of picking and choosing how I use my non-engine. And in this scenario, I really had to think hard about who I Godarla'd. I decided to go with the Unicorn because I wanted to activate monster effects, and without it, they don't really have any, like, sort of game. In hindsight, I should have used Mirage Stalio here because I end up not summoning or activating any effects other than fire monsters, and this would have given me an extra material to be able to maybe go into something else. But I decided to go for the Heatleo just because I want to clear as many things that this person has access to as possible. I can't like attack over anything. Having this Gazelle in hand means that I have pretty good follow-up. But ultimately, I'm sort of stuck deciding what is going to be the best play sort of on the fly. And I'm relying on my opponent to not use their interactions very well. In this game, I sort of dodged a lot of bullets. Like, my opponent didn't banish anything meaningful off of any of the effects. And on top of that, I had answers for a lot of things that could have ruined my day. Like, I had the answer for that Ash, which would have meant that I had no interaction. In addition to that, I had the Godarla for turn 1. I had the ability to go into Mirage Stalio to out the Shangri-Ira because it can't be destroyed. And I choose not to Godarla here because I want a Transcode Talker. Balings helps me keep my Heatleo, which means I can do a full clear, but they got evenly, which is kind of sad. And then we enter into a point in the game where I can only describe it as just sad Tira. Just look at this. They're trying so hard. They're trying so dang hard. And honestly, I get back to the position where I want it to be. I could have gotten more damage, but it doesn't. It ends up not mattering. That is one draw that they've now faded. This is now the second time they've drawn a card that didn't get them back in the game. And at this point, I can't kill them, and I've got nothing else that I can do in terms of putting materials on board. I'm terrified that face down is something like relevant. It's at this point that I'm like, okay, are they setting up for like an evenly? But then why would they max C? And that is 3 draws in a row in Kashtira where they drew nothing, allowing me to squeak away the sweatiest win in this series so far. But as I've said every time, we take those. And with that, we are 1 win away from Diamond. Playing during the day really is the meta, I'm telling you. Well, fitting that we lose to Hero of all things. I just didn't draw good. Honestly, I didn't draw Gazelle, which is sort of how you set up interaction going first. And even if I had drawn Gazelle and was able to end on more interaction, they had Duster. Like, short of sending the counter trap, I don't think I was going to win that game. But, you know, we go again. You have to be joking me right now. Look at this hand. This deck just keeps giving me hands like this. Oh gosh. They had Nibiru. This might not have been my game to win. You know what? We're gonna capture this moment because I'm feeling like this Book of Moon might actually just go brazy. So they add the field spell. Shoot. This prevents. It hasn't resolved yet, so I guess I can activate it. I'm gonna book the Perlily, see if that stops them. If they have anything else here, I think I'm just done. Okay, normal summon. I need you to whiff. It's the Fenrir. Oh. A second my friend. Pass? Pass? Please don't let that other card be a quick play. They're passing. Oh my gosh. 100. Big 100 damage. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Deck, I have never needed you to give me something good off the top in my life. More than I need it now. Heart of the cards. Oh my gosh, are you... I'm gonna scream. Come on, dog. I can't win here. Like, there's nothing I can do. What do? I'm gonna pass to see if anything, if I can even, like, do anything. This is just so, just infuriating. I just want to break something. Let's go for it. Oh, that's it. They're now under Maxi. Oh, they're going to get Delicious. They're going to activate Delicious. They're going to go into the... Yep. Reveal 3 Delicious. Now I have to contest with a freaking X-Pearly Noir. Oh, no. They activated the other effect just so they could get a material on Plum. Yeah, there's the Noir. Oh, So it's got like big attack. So these don't like. Oh, that's so. You just love to see it. You love to see it. They're gonna get the field spell effect, so that's annoying. Grave. Summon a level 1. Once per turn, field, opponent's effect, special summon. Yes. Okay, so this is gonna special summon. If they have. No, they don't have anything for this. So the My Friend allows them to recycle, right? Or is this the one that adds back? This is the one that adds back quick play spells. Okay. 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 That's fine. But once this summons, I really need to see Gazelle or a way to get to Gazelle off the top of my deck. There's actually a few that I think would be okay here. Anything that... I'm gonna lose it. Legitimately, I'm gonna lose it. This is so annoying. Here's the very annoying thing, the most annoying thing. I think I still have a chance here. Special summon an Xyz monster that mentions that card by using this. If I book it, does it no longer get to do it? Is this a once per turn? Each effect once per turn. Yes, it is. This says your opponent cannot target Pearly monsters you control with card effects the turn their special summon. This was not a special summon this turn. So if I do this, that prevents them from being able to Xyz with it, right? Yes! Oh, man. And that cuts them off of going into an Xyz. Okay, so they're gonna special summon a Pearly. What Pearly are they special summoning? I might have a chance. Honestly, wishing this was just a second Book of Moon. What did they discard? They discarded a My Friend. Okay, so they summon Pearly, like normal Pearly. Normal summon once per turn. I'm fine with that, I think. So they're gonna get the Happy Memory. Oh, they revealed 2 Happy Memories. That's crazy. Which one did they just activate? Sleepy Memory. Turn your hand. I think this is my best bet. Because at this point, what are they gonna do? If I banish this, do they have a response? No. Yes! I'm always worried that that doesn't work the way I think it does. Okay, so it's still their turn. Man, this game has gone to turn 7. Come on! Are you kidding me? Are you joking me right now? This is my Joker arc! I'm gonna go to Konami and just blow up their servers. I'm gonna show up at every single Pearly Kashtira. Anyone who plays those decks, I'm just gonna show up at your house. I'm just gonna pull up. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna show up and be mad. Let's cut the Book of Moon. Let's play a third Foxy. So this is version 18. I'm feeling like I'm just banging my head against the wall. I'm really worried that the deck is fine and I'm just drawing like the exact 5-card hands that lose me the game. Like, no access to engine is, feels bad, but no matter how much we cut down, we're always running the risk of drawing too much non-engine because we're playing like, I counted this before, we're playing 3, 6, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 non-engine. That's the same as it was last time I counted. We were doing good back then, though. I feel like the shuffler just hates me today. And I'm back to needing 3 wins. Like, I was 1 away. It was so close I could taste it. And now I'm back to needing 3 wins. Because of a friggin' hero player and a Pearly player. Like, I don't know. We're gonna keep trying. This whole during the day meta is not really paying off, but we'll see. Early on in this, I deemed certain decks my nemesis, and this is one of those decks that I deemed my nemesis. If you've seen some of the earlier episodes, then you know I raged at this deck pretty hard. So I'm hoping that my deck gives me what I need in this situation. What was that one? Was Bottomless? Oh, Floodgate. Okay, so it's Bottomless, or is that Floodgate? Is that Bottomless? That's the Gravediggers, which is annoying. Oh man, I didn't even draw. This is all deck. This is not what I meant when said I needed to draw more engine. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Yep. I'm just gonna go take care of my dog. Oh, I guess we're back, guys. We're so back. I mean, look at this. It's a win. Oh boy, it was against Kashtira. They Shangri-Era pass, and I top decked Ash for the Shangri-Era and standby. And then they ashed me where it didn't matter, and I update access coded them. Oh boy, they didn't even let me attack for game. They just scoop-de-dooped. How often? How many times, chat, have I been in this position? I go on some depressing losing streak, and then I win a game, and I think, oh, we're so back, guys. We're so gonna do it. I just need to go on a bunch of wins all in a row, and then I lose like 4 in a row, and I'm back to needing 4 wins, and I'm back to being clinically depressed. I don't know if I'll be back. And I don't mean to say that this video is not going to be finished. I just mean I don't know if it's worth my time to keep showing you every time I lose and win and lose and win and lose and win. I'm just going to play and we're going to see how it goes. Alright, I'm back. Let's collect some things. So, it's been a day-ish, maybe more, since I recorded. And I went ahead and sort of thought more and more about what I could possibly do to sort of help my chances as best I could. And a few things came to mind. I went ahead and I Googled current lists for Salamangreat, and one of the things that came up, why did nobody tell me that Parallel Exceed is a normal? That is the easiest craft of my life. Still no foils. As I was looking, I was seeing a lot of stuff that people were not playing. Like, not a lot of people were playing, the extra back row removal, which I don't think is correct. I think I do want to cut the Foxy back by one, and I think I want to cut the Book of Moon. Something that they were playing was Crossout plus Nibiru. I was curious why they were only playing one Nibiru, but I'm realizing it was a Crossout target. So there are a couple things we can do. I know this is not going to work because I know this card is a UR. I mean, I don't know, but in my heart I know. Is that not how you spell it? Yeah. Yeah, Rafflesia is a UR. Rafflesia is one of the ways that rank 4 decks have the ability to deal with hand traps going first, specifically the Nibiru, because you can play a card like Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which if you have Rafflesia allows you to activate them from your deck, which means if you can make a rank 4 before you go into some of your other plays, then you have the ability to have protection against hand traps. The issue with that is that, again, Rafflesia is a UR and Gravediggers is an SR. And if we get to the point where we can start crafting more URs, I think the first thing we need to go for is Crossout, because that card is going to be game determinative. Unfortunately, we won't have access to Nibiru to be able to cross out, so that's a little annoying, but I do think it's still worth putting in there. I think this is okay. I'm gonna grind some games and see how I do. I think it's about to happen. It's about to happen. Oh my gosh! Oh no! Absolutely not. Is it real? I'm pinching myself right now. I'm pinching. Diamond! Yes! Yes! Oh! Okay. Whew. Oh man. This has been agony. If the diamond climb is anywhere remotely close to as bad as the platinum climb has been, next episode may not be the climb all the way to master. It may only be to like diamond 3 or something. I guess now I edit it. You know I can't cuck you like that. Come on. We got some gems, sure. That's great. I'm all for getting gems. But that's not what we're here for, people. What we're here for is the diamond frame, baby. Let's go. We're not just going to get the diamond frame. Oh, no. We're going to put it on. When was the last time I updated this thing? What frame am I using? I'm still using the gold? Oh, boy. No, we gotta go with the diamond. And do I want to change the icon? I do really like Masquerena, but I earned ZFD, but also Masquerena. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it Masquerena. I really am unfathomable, aren't I? Making it all the way to Diamond 5 without opening a single pack in this game. And up to this point, it's been a roller coaster. So let's take one last look at the deck. Version 19. This is the version that finally got me into Diamond. So that's neat. We're 2 away from another SR craft. So that's kind of cool. I think in the low master, I might possibly try experimenting with some different things that I have lying around. I know at some point I would like to put together Pendulum because I think I have a ton of Pendulum cards from opening the structure decks, and I just don't have anything to do with them at the moment. They don't offer anything to this deck, and I unfortunately need a lot of really strong ultra rares in order to make this deck even worth considering. But for now, I'm just glad we're in Diamond. It has been hell getting to this point, but I'm so happy to be here. If you're not subscribed and you've made it this far into the video, what is wrong with you? What on earth is wrong with you? Hit that subscribe button. Absolutely just update access code that subscribe button. Although don't hit it twice because that unsubscribes you. Just hit it the one time. But, you know, yeah? Washer's done.